Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm excited to meet you all. Um, as Liv said, I'm Tanya Milette. I'm the Associate Director of Disability Access Services. Um, that office is located in CASA, so I'm just going to take a moment and set up screen share, but give me 1 second. So, like I said, my office is located in CASA, which is the Center for Academic Success and Achievement. If you've been to campus, this is a picture of what CASA looks like. We're situated sort of right next to the shuttle stop near the admissions house and near the Pierce and Horace Mann dorms. I'm going to talk through a lot of the things that CASA offers. You can kind of see an overview here. So there's tutoring services, there's supplemental instruction, academic coaching, success program, like I said, disability access services, which is what my primary role is, and lots of other things. So I'll talk through each of these things and briefly because I want to be mindful of the time, and we'll go from there. So lots of tutoring is happening in CASA. These pictures are actually inside our building. The lower picture is our tutoring space. So you can see lots of windows, lots of people coming in there. Um, People come to CASA to work with a tutor for all kinds of different reasons, and we have a lot of different tutors. So first up, we have professional math and writing tutoring. Um, these are people who have a lot of teaching and tutoring experience. They are not students. Um, we have subject tutoring. So we have subject tutoring in biology, chemistry, history. This semester we have an ASL tutor. Um, we have academic strategy peer tutorings, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a second. We offer over 56 hours a week of tutoring in CASA. The hours are up there. One thing that I always want to point out, people always ask is it, do I have to pay extra? No, you don't have to pay extra. It is covered already with tuition and fees. Um, Also helpful to know that we offer virtual tutoring because even though we are offering a lot of tutoring each week, we know that sometimes people might not be able to make it into CASA or might feel more comfortable accessing virtual tutoring. So that's Thinking Storm, and you can see that listed there as a single sign-on option. So I mentioned supplemental instruction fairly briefly a moment ago. This is intensive subject tutoring. So this is course specific, where our other tutoring is not specific to your course. Supplemental instruction is really targeting difficult courses. So a lot of courses in sciences and math. The peer tutors for supplemental instruction are folks who have taken the class that you're taking, did really well, got a recommendation, were trained by my colleagues in CASA, and they're leading study sessions throughout the week, sometimes 2 times a week, sometimes 3 times a week, really to help students get those difficult concepts, hear how someone who is a student who took that class very recently is thinking about that information. Sometimes that resonates differently um, than hearing it from your professor or hearing it from a tutor who maybe hasn't taken that class. Again, it's really valuable. So if your class has supplemental instruction, I highly recommend that you take advantage of it because it's so impactful to students who go to those sessions. Just like all of our tutoring, there's no charge for accessing supplemental instruction. So we don't want any barriers to students who are thinking about going to supplemental instruction. Another thing that we offer is academic coaching. We have 2 options. The first option is academic strategy peer tutoring. So if you wanted to work with an academic strategy peer tutor or an ASPT, those are students who are juniors and seniors. And the focus It's a weekly appointment with focus on time management, keeping track of assignments, making a plan for the week. Um, Sometimes the focus can be on test taking tips and strategies, right? Just like some of our other tutors, they're trained by CASA staff and we supervise them. Um, it's it's a great option for students, especially first year students who are making that transition. Excuse me, I have hiccups or something. Um, it's a great option for students who are making that transition from high school to college. A lot of the ways in which you access your homework kind of shifts as you make that transition. So when you're working with an academic strategy peer tutor, you get to hear some strategies that they are using, and you get to make that connection with another student. Um, Sometimes students will say that they don't feel comfortable working with another student. And in that case, you could work with someone from the CASA success team. So me or one of the other professional staff um, in CASA, we are doing some academic coaching. We're looking at some of the barriers that you might recognize as getting in your way to academic success. We try to help students identify their strengths and weaknesses. And we really develop individualized success plans and monitor progress. So, if you come back and you're meeting with a coach, we're going to say, so how did it go? Like, did you do the thing that you said you were going to do and what got in the way? And we're going to have that in-depth conversation. So two different options. Neither of these are course specific, but kind of just general academic skills is the focus. As I said at the beginning, I work in disability access services. So my role is really to facilitate the accommodations process as students are transitioning, or if they're accessing accommodations after they've been at FSU for a while. Um, I can talk to anyone who has questions about some of the differences between high school IEPs or 504 plans and what accommodations look like in college. I just want everyone to kind of keep in mind that the definition of disability is pretty broad. So when we're talking about people who are eligible for accommodations, we're talking about people who might have a cognitive disability, people with an emotional disability or sensory disability, people with physical disabilities or chronic medical conditions. We always also get asked, and so I'll say it, we also work with people who have some temporary like medical conditions that are impacting their ability to access their classwork. So I've worked with some students who have broken their arm and they're unable to write their assignments. I've worked with some students who've had some concussions or things that are not lifetime things you don't have to deal with for your whole life, but that they pop up and they really impact how a student accesses their work. For people who are thinking about accessing academic accommodations, we do require documentation. So that may include your IEP or 504 plan. We're also looking for the testing that was done with the most recent IEP or 504 plan. So that's sometimes called educational testing or psychological testing. We're always looking at the reasonableness of requests. So sometimes students ask for things that would really change the course or would really change an assignment. And we're balancing what the student is telling us they need with what is reasonable for that class or for that particular assignment. When students commit to FSU, they can submit documentation after they commit or, make their deposit. Our staff does individualized intakes with students over the summer. So we meet on Zoom or we meet in person in CASA. We have a lot more information about our guidelines and policies and whatnot on our website. So I recommend that everyone checks that out if you haven't already done so. CASA also coordinates early academic alert and midterm warnings through this platform called Starfish. So what happens is instructors might notice a change in attendance, or they might notice that you have some assignments missing, and they go on this platform and they raise flags. CASA staff monitors the flags that are coming in, and we reach out to students. So our role is to kind of see how students, not see how you're doing, but see if there are patterns, see if there's an opportunity to offer support. So we reach out, but I always tell students that it's up to you to respond. You'll get that outreach if you have that flag, and then it's up to you to respond and come forward and really make a plan to get things back on track, or, you know, participate in some academic coaching or tutoring or whatever it is that's going to help you best. And then kept it kind of short because I want to be respectful of everyone's time, but um, our general emails are here. So academic support at framingham.edu is the best place to send tutoring questions. Disability services at framingham.edu is the best place to send questions about accommodations. So my email is on the next slide too. If you want to email me personally, that's fine. This is the CASA website where you can see our current tutoring schedule. You can see our learning resources. You can see everyone's contact information. So I hope you check out the website, and I hope to see a lot of you at the upcoming Accepted Students reception. And I also want to just add that, you know, we're a student-centered office, so students are kind of at the center of what we do. If you're not talking to us, then we're sad. We want to talk to you. So I highly recommend that you take advantage of coming into the space during the Accepted Students reception, and kind of just checking it out, asking questions, and, you know, come say hello. Thank you. I'm going to stop sharing, but I can answer any questions, or we can take questions at the end. It's up to you, Liv.
Yeah, I think we're gonna save some time at the end for questions. So feel free if you guys have questions right now. I see people are already putting those in the chat. Definitely continue to do those if you don't want to hold on to it till the end. We will definitely answer all those questions at the end though. Thank you, Tanya. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to Ben.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to start this up. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out today. It's Counseling Center looks forward to always getting the opportunity to speak with people. Ben for help, and I'm also the director of the Counseling Center. Okay, so what I want tonight is spend a little bit of time on sort of a backgrounder of what we're speaking of about the mental health in general, and then get into the very specifics of who and what the Counseling Center is. So what is the mental health crisis on college campuses? We hear a lot about this. So with this, I want to, the majority of college students today meet the criteria for at least one mental health problem. The rates of mental health problems are the same among students of all ethnicity, but students of color are less likely to seek treatment. And the Counseling Center advice, and I'll be hammering this a lot tonight, free, unlimited mental health services, which all matriculated students can access. And so what are some of the specifics of the crisis? 44% of students reported symptoms of depression. 37% said they experienced anxiety. And 15% say they considered suicide, the highest rate that's been found in the survey in 15 years. And this survey was accomplished by talking to 133 US campuses and 90,000 students. So it's a big survey. And so what are the stresses for college students? Some are very predictable. Studying for exams, competing for admissions or internships, trying to master large amounts of content in a small amount of time. But then there are other stresses, sudden changes, unexpected challenges, or traumatic events that can be unpredictable and unknowable until they happen. And those are all sources of stress. And so what is the consequence? What are the consequences of stress in students? Well, 25% of students who show symptoms of mental health issues drop out, versus only 9% of students without mental health concerns. So it is important that if a student is expressing feelings of stress, mental health issues, that they come in and speak to us. But there are reasons a student may not seek help for their mental health. Students are indestructible, obviously, at this age, and they overestimate their understanding and ability. They don't recognize early enough that they need help. They may also perceive that their parents are unapproachable, or other people on campus are unapproachable. And students seek out help, maybe amongst their peers. That's not working. And a lot of times, students don't know that there are resources available on campus. And I like to stress that every year, even though we're in the center of the campus, every year there's students who come to us and say, I didn't even know you guys were here. And that could be first year students, or that could be seniors. So this is the counseling center. This is the staff of the counseling center. We're part of a campus-wide support network, including CASA, available for students. It's free. It's unlimited. It doesn't involve health insurance of any kind, so there's no copayments, and all matriculated students can access our service. And what services? We provide individual counseling, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. And we have early evening, Tuesday through Thursday, 4:30 to 8:30. So we're convenient, we're easily accessible, and also have walk-in and crisis sessions. So those are scheduled appointments. The Monday through Friday stuff is scheduled, but we also have walk-in and crisis sessions. That's every day, 1:30 to 2:30. So sometimes a student may feel out of sorts for whatever reason. It could be just they're not feeling quite right. So they don't have to wait to make an appointment. They could just come into our office between 1:30 and 2:30 for a brief 30-minute session with us. Sessions in general are 45 minutes to 50 minutes. So that's a standard therapeutic session. The walk-in crisis sessions are 30 minutes to help hopefully stabilize the situation and then schedule an appointment for later in the week. And we also provide referrals. All of our staff are licensed social workers or licensed mental health clinicians. So I come to counseling in the first place. Well, first, all students are welcome and encouraged to use our services as many times as necessary. And unlike outside therapy, there is no wait list. A student can make an appointment on a Monday and be seen on by Tuesday, Wednesday, or Friday at the latest. And so why do students come in? Anxiety, stress, depression, mood issues, substance use concerns, relationship issues, eating disorders, or just plain curiosity. I always wanted to do this. I've never had the opportunity to do this. and now I have the opportunity to do it. All of our therapists are generalists, so we can handle any of these situations, although there are some specialties that we have, but nonetheless, we can all handle any student with any presenting problem. And what a common struggling with adjusting to new environments. And that could be their first year student, obviously, and they've never been away from home, or they've never been away from home with so many new people that they had to get used to. Or they could even be seniors or second year students or juniors and have issues of that hadn't cropped up before, and new environments. It could be as simple as changing dorms. Old coping strategies may not work anymore, quite frankly. And they may have had used those when they were in high school and been able to muddle through. And then new friendships, new activities, new behaviors. So these are very common experiences. But there are some concerning experiences. Inability to function and perform in major roles, like getting up and going to class, or handing in homework, or interacting with friends. They may have significant changes in their mood, in their appetite, in their sleep. They may have thoughts and actions related to suicidality. And they may be using substances that interfere in their function. And all of these are flags that they should come in and speak with someone at the counseling center. Make an appointment. Very easy, exceedingly easy. They can go online and schedule in our health and counseling web portal. It's called Medicat, and they just go in. All of the available spaces are highlighted. They go in, they pick the therapist, they pick the time that the therapist can meet with them, and they schedule it. They can also email us at counselingcenter@framingham.edu. They can email us and ask for an appointment. They can call us during business hours. We'll talk to them immediately, but sometimes they can call us in the evenings, and when we get in the morning, we answer all the calls and get back to people. Or they can come in person again when we're open in Forster Hall on this, what is the third floor, but it looks like the second floor. And they can come and speak to our receptionist and literally be able to set up an appointment right then and there. Again, I keep going back to this. It's free. There's no limit. There's no insurance bills. There's no co-payments. Literally, a student can start with us in their first week of their first year of their first semester and stay and see someone weekly for the whole time that they are in training. So it doesn't matter. It's always available. And something that some students may be concerned about is this notion that, well, if I go to a campus counseling center, everybody will know about it. My professors will know about it. And the truth is, all information regarding a student's visit are never shared with faculty or staff outside of the counseling center staff. So let's talk really briefly about confidentiality. What is said during a counseling session is protected information by HIPAA for students who are over 18. They're considered legal adults, and anything that they say to us is completely confidential. But that also puts some responsibility on the student. they're responsible for contacting us and coming in for treatment. Their friend can't make an appointment for them. Their parents can't make appointments for them. Faculty can't make appointments for them. Other staff people can't make appointments for them. They have to make the appointment for themselves. But we can consult with families and help around problem solving, but we won't give out any specific information without consent of their student. If a parent has concern about their student, they can call us to help figure out next steps. And something I also want to stress, therapy is voluntary. There is no requirement that a student come to see us. It's voluntary. Even if it's free, they can say, no, I don't want to come in. And that's perfectly fine. So what can a parent or family do? Communicate directly with their student about concerns they have. Encourage the student to seek support and resources. If they have questions, contact us for consultation and check out our website. So, whoops, let me go back. I apologize. We're open daily, Monday through Friday, from 8:30 to 4:30. We have sessions in the evening from 4:30 to 8:30, 3 days a week. It's free for all matriculated students. There's online scheduling, and all students are encouraged to come in. There is never an issue or a problem getting a student to come in to speak to someone. There are always clinicians, well-trained. I like to say Framingham State has some of the best therapists available anywhere. And I encourage people to use us as often as possible because it doesn't cost them anything to do. Questions?
All right, so I guess now we're going to move on to our Q&A portion of this. We did have a few questions that folks dropped in the chat. So the first one I'm going to read aloud, and this one is going to be for Tanya. How does an IEP for a student in high school carry over to get support in college?
Sure. So it doesn't transfer directly. And so to kind of echo what Ben was saying, there's some student responsibility, and that's one of the key differences. I think in high school, IEPs or 504s are kind of organized by teachers and your parents and other administrators at school. And at college, it's a student responsibility. So students, the first step would be to submit your IEP or your 504 and the testing that was done with that to disability services. Lots of ways of doing that. You can mail it, right? You can email it to disabilityservices@framingham.edu. You can bring it in to CASA when you're on campus. Once we have your documentation, if you were to send it in today, great. It's going to take us a little while to set up that meeting with you, but that is the next step. So we would set up a meeting with each student where we've gotten documentation. Those are called intake appointments. And during that appointment, we really spend time talking about specific accommodations that you had in high school, what those might look like in a college setting, and if some of the accommodations you had in high school aren't necessarily things that we can offer as accommodations, we talk about other supports or strategies that might help address that access issue, right? So that's really why we're thinking about accommodations. Nothing is predetermined, so we don't rubber stamp anything before we even meet you. We really do have to meet with students and have that interactive process. Those meetings typically take place over the summer for incoming students who are starting in the fall. Like I said earlier, they can be in person or they can be on Zoom. Students can come on their own, or they can bring someone from their home support team to those meetings. So not quite a word for word transfer, but we do work with students on an individual basis to put college accommodations in place.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, next question. So I'm gonna pair the next two questions because they're both are about the alert process for academic alerts. So the first part is, do students need to sign up for early alerting, or is this just a general thing that is offered for all students at FSU? And are academic alerts for all students?
So it's not something that you opt into. It's something that students, faculty choose to do. Most faculty are pretty on board with it, and we're seeing more and more faculty actually use that early alert system, because we are seeing that when faculty raise those alerts and then someone responds from CASA and then the student takes some initiative to follow through with some of those things, that we're seeing better outcomes for students. So you don't get to opt in. It's kind of open, it's based on faculty if they're using it. If you're doing well in the class, faculty can also raise kudos. So it's not just you're doing bad. It's not just the you're doing bad system, but it's also you can see, or you're doing not as well as you would like, but it's also a way of seeing some positive things about class too. I've seen faculty recently say, great job, great participation, keep up the good work, nice momentum. So it's it's not just negative things, which I wanted to stress too.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. And the next question is going to be for Ben. So if a student has an outside counselor in the community, can they work with the counselor that the student might be working with at the FSU Counseling Center?
So like interact with both ourselves and that outside counselor.
Yep.
And the answer is yes. Yes, absolutely. There are several students who come to us with outside counselors, and they have a good working relationship, but in many instances, that outside counselor might only meet with them once a month or every third week or something. Whereas with us, a student can literally come to work with us every week. And so it is supplemental, it can be supplemental, and we interact with their outside counselor to sort of keep them alerted to what's going on.
Awesome. Thank you. And this next question is also going to be for you, Ben, as well. Are coaches and faculty partnered with the counseling center to help recommend a student athlete find help if they become overwhelmed with their responsibilities?
Yes, great question. We, the counseling center, because of our unique position, we get literally faculty walking students over to our offices for either crisis or set up an appointment. We have athletic directors coming to our center with students, walk them over. So in many ways, they are able to, or we think we're able to have that relationship with campus partners that allows and affords us the opportunity to have a student come to us. We get CASA sent, brings students over to us as well, because of our centralized location and our ability to see students in real time. So it's not like, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to wait a month. It's, oh yeah, we can see them right now, or we can see them tomorrow, that sort of thing. So yes, in fact, we have ongoing partnership with athletics and with academics, professors, to have them identify people. And even if the student may be reluctant, they could give us a name per se, and we'll send a reach out letter via email to say, hey, not, oh, you got to come in, but if you want to come in, we're available for it.
All right, and then the next question we have in the chat is it possible for an incoming student to connect with a therapist over the summer so they can get comfortable with that person beforehand, just to help it be more likely that they'll go to them when they're needed? When does that first point of contact happen?
When the student is um, uh, deemed eligible, that typically doesn't occur until um, sort of the first week the student is on campus. Um, we do encourage the student to come to us as soon as they become eligible and talk with us. And quite honestly, we're open during the summer. We're open all year long. So it's not like we're closed once um, May hits and classes are over and graduation has occurred. We're open right through the summer months. So if a student is already matriculating and they're still, they can come all year long. And if a student is beginning the process, we wait until they are actually on campus to start that relationship. And I should add that students can be seen in person or virtual. So we have both options available. The overwhelming majority of students wants to meet with us in person, and we do. But there is that option, especially in the summer months when the student isn't necessarily close by.
Awesome, thank you. Looks like we had another question pop in for Tanya. I'm not sure if this is necessarily your ball field. If you can speak to it a little bit, I can too if you need. But are there departments in CASA that have student employment opportunities, work study, or otherwise?
Sure. So CASA is the, I believe, second largest student employer on campus. We have work study students. They are typically working our front desk, greeting people, kind of directing other students to where they need to be. As I said, we also have a lot of student tutors. So we hire student subject tutors, we hire academic strategy peer tutors, we hire supplemental instruction leaders. Those are all students. We have other opportunities for students as well, like we hire note takers to make their notes available as part of an accommodation. So lots of different opportunities to work at CASA.
Awesome, thank you. And I was one of those student note takers when I was a student here at FSU, so I highly recommend.